Depository system. In this topic, we will study about the constituents in the depository system, various concepts related to the depository system, and the two depositories that are existing in our country. Let us now study about the various constituents of the depository system. The depository. It is an organization where securities are held in the electronic form at the investor's request. The depository participant. It is an agent of the depository and registered under the SEBI Act. The beneficial owner. It is the investor in securities who avails the various facilities of the depository participant. And then the issuer company. Company issuing shares and those shares that can be dematerialized. We will now be studying these four constituents of the depository system in detail. We start with the depository. The depository, it is an organization which works on the parallel lines like the central bank or the Reserve Bank of India. Let us study about the depository. The depository, it is an organization that provides securities and liquidity in the market. This organization looks after the shares that are in the demat form. It also provides various services related to the shares. It is responsible for safekeeping of securities for the investors. The depository, there cannot be a direct access by the investor with these depositories. The access, that is the link between the company and the investor, is through the depository participant. Therefore, these depositories are there for the safekeeping of the securities of the investors. The depositories are totally responsible for the working of the dematted shares. So, these depositories play a very important role in this system. Basically, there are two types of depositories existing in our country. We will be studying about these two depositories in detail. Let us now study about the next constituent of the depository system, that is the depository participant. Depository participant, it works on the parallel lines of a bank. The banks are working under the conditions of the RBI. Similarly, the depository participant works under the control of the depository. It is called as an agent of the depository. That is, the depositories are giving instructions to the depository participant. Based on that, the depository participant provides its services to the investors. The depository participant is registered under the SEBI Act. It is an intermediary appointed by the depository. So these depositories are instructing the depository participant to provide the various services to the investors. Since there is no direct contact between the depository and the investor. It also deals with the customers' investors. That is, the customers or the clients, they are converted in a dematted form. And so, the depository participant provides the services related to the demat shares. A depository participant, it functions like a security bank. That is, the bank, or rather the depository participant, how a bank looks after the shares, the depository participant looks after the cash, that is the shares of the customer. It facilitates dematerialization. Whenever the investor wants to convert his shares into the electronic form, the depository participant helps in converting the shares in the dematerialized form. It also helps to provide the shares to be converted into the physical form, which is known as the rematerialization. The depository participant, it provides various services to the demat account holder. These services may vary from the statements of accounts to be provided to the right shares and the bonus shares that are to be credited on behalf of the company to the demat account holder. It maintains accounts of securities of each investor. The depository participant maintains a separate account in which the shares that are going to be transferred, sold, purchased, any such transactions done by the investor is being noted. Every depository participant has a unique identification number. This unique identification number is utilized whenever the investor or the depository wants to invest, or rather whenever there has to be a proper coordination or communication between the company, the depository participant and the investors. Therefore, these depository participants are very important when it comes to the dematerialization or the depository system. Who can be a depository participant? In terms of the Depository Act 1996, SEBI, Depositories and Participants Regulations 1996, it has allowed only certain organizations to become depository participant. Financial institutions. So the financial institutions that are lending money can become a depository participant. Various banks, nationalized banks or even cooperative banks, and even those banks which are approved as a foreign bank can work as a depository participant. Custodians of money, stockbrokers, a clearing corporation or a clearing house of a stock exchange, a non-banking finance company, a register to an issue or share transfer agent. So such organizations can work as a depository participant. In many of the banks, depository participant is one of the functions of that particular bank. Therefore, depository participants play a very important role in this depository system. Let us now study the next constituent of the depository system, the beneficial owner. Beneficial owner, formerly known as the investor. In the depository system, he is now known as the beneficial owner because he gets the benefit in the depository system like easy transfer of shares, easy selling of the shares, and even the various services that are going to be provided very quickly as compared to the traditional system. So, the investor in any type of securities is now known as the beneficial owner. So, he is the investor who gets the benefits in this depository system. The beneficial owner is entitled to all the rights and benefits and also is subject to all liabilities related to securities. So he gets all the rights and benefits, that is, his shares can be converted into the demat form and he can quickly sell or he can transfer the shares. And he also gets various benefits, that is the dividend or the right shares or the bonus shares, any such aspects are quickly transferred in his account. He is also subject to all liabilities related to securities. That is, whenever the company is going to face any liabilities related to the shares, that is, if the market value decreases, at that time the investor is going to be subjected to all such liabilities. He is also known as the client of the depository and DP, that is, an account holder. For this purpose, he gets a unique number to become a client. A client-DP agreement is signed between the depository participant and the beneficial owner. This agreement contains all the rules and regulations related to the depository system. And so he is known as the client of the depository participant. He needs to open a demat account and pay its charges. The beneficial owner, as he opens a savings account in any of the banks, here too he needs to open a demat account, and accordingly he pays the charges for it. This demat account is going to be utilized for the benefit of the shareholder, that is the investor. This demat account is going to be wherein the shares are going to be transferred or sold, and even the conversion of the shares takes place over here. The depository participant is going to charge a nominal amount for all the various services that are being provided. The beneficial owner is given a unique account number. This account number resembles to an account number that he gets for the savings account. The beneficial owner will henceforth transact according to this number that is going to be allotted to him. He will utilize this unique account number in any of the transactions that he will be doing from his account. Another constituent of the depository system is the issuer company. The issuer company is the company that issues securities. Every company is a issuer company when it is going to convert its shares in the demat form. That is, whenever its securities can be issued in the demat form. So, whenever the company that is going to issue its shares in the demat form is now known as the issuer company. This issuer company must be registered with the depository, and this registration with the depository is done as per the documentation that has to be provided by the issuer company to the depository. When the company is going to issue shares in the market, every such shares or the security is allotted a unique number in the depository. This number is going to be utilized by the investor whenever he is going to transact in those shares. And therefore, the company is getting a particular number, that is a unique number, for any type of securities that are going to be allotted. Let us now study the various concepts or terms related to the depository system. First, we begin with dematerialization. Dematerialization. The name itself suggests removal of the materialistic form. So, this materialistic form, that is, wherein the process of converting the shares from the physical form, that is, the paper form, to the electronic form, or which we say as the digital form. So, this is known as dematerialization. So in this process, the share certificates are to be surrendered to the depository participant along with 3 dematerialization request form, or which we call them as DRF. The depository participant receives the share certificates and then stamps as surrendered for demat on the share certificates. These DRFs are then forwarded to the depository by the depository participant. The depository then forwards the share certificates and one DRF form to the issuer company. The issuer company goes through the share certificates and also confirms it through the register of members. Once the company has confirmed that this person was an investor with the company and his shares are registered with the company, it then informs the depository. The depository then credits those securities in the demat account of the depository participant. The issuer company then cancels those share certificates. It destroys those share certificates. The depository then informs the depository participant that the number of shares have now got credited in the demat account of the investor. Now the investor can transfer or sell the shares electronically. The next concept is rematerialization. Rematerialization means wherein the process of converting the shares back from the electronic form to the physical form. That is, where the shares are being held in the demat form are now going to be converted back in the paper form. This is done with the help of a written request on the rematerialization request form. The investor is going to give his request on this RRF. These RRF are then forwarded to the depository and the issuer company by the depository participant. The issuer company then prints these certificates and then sends it to the investor directly. It also confirms with the depository that henceforth these shares are now not in the electronic form and the share certificate has been issued to the investor. This confirmation is done by the issuer company with the depository. The depository then informs the depository participant to debit those number of shares from the demat account. So these shares are then cancelled in the electronic form because they are now available in the physical form. An investor usually does this process of converting the shares from the electronic form to physical form for the basic purpose to save on the maintenance charges, or if he intends not to sell the shares in the coming near future. So this process is utilized whenever the investor wants to keep a copy of those shares in the physical form. Let us now study about the depositories in India. There are two depositories in India established under the Depositories Act 1986. All depositories that are established have to be initially registered as per the Companies Act 2013. Every depository has to frame its own bylaws as per the Companies Act. These bylaws have to be followed and have to be approved by the SEBI. And these bylaws are followed as by the depository participant, investor and the company. The first depository that was formed in November 1986 was NSDL, that is National Securities Depository Limited. This is the first and the largest depository established in India on November 1986. This depository is promoted by IDBI and UTI. It has its headquarters in Mumbai. The NSDL is a public limited company registered under Companies Act. Therefore, even the shares of NSDL are transacted in the stock exchanges. It provides various services to investors, stock exchange, banks, issuers, clearing members, etc. A depository, it also provides, that is NSDL, provides various important services to the depository participant and also the demat account holders. These services are related to the payment of dividend, transferring of the shares, selling of the shares, purchasing of the shares, even transferring the bonus shares and the right issue to the equity shareholders. Therefore, the depositories, that is NSDL, is a very important organization in our country. Depositories can be established by various organizations, a financial institution, or it can be a bank, a foreign bank, or recognized stock exchange can also become a depository. Let us now study the next depository, The other depository in India, that is CDSL, the Central Depository Services Limited. The CDSL is again formed as per the rules of the Companies Act. Even this depository has its own bylaws and it has to be working under the rule of SEBI. CDSL, it was established in February 1999. It is promoted by the stock exchanges in India and the various banks established in India. Even CDSL has its main head office at Mumbai. CDSL provides various services to the depository participant and the investors. The CDSL works on the parallel lines of NSDL. Even this organization provides the services as per the Companies Act, and therefore it has been established to look after the welfare of the investors and also the companies. Thank you, one and all.